one other area that you might want to consider when it comes to correlation, not via the correlations matrix, but rather if you have just like a single risk and it has been mapped to multiple activities, or in this case, multiple cost elements from the cost module, then you may wish to correlate the behavior of the sampling during the Monte Carlo simulation. So let's have a quick look at our hot market scarce resources one more time. And if we go back to, say, the cost module, and we had that linked to the specialists in terms of labor, but maybe we could have a hot market that actually is just taking it away all our general site labor, as well as our PMO, as well as our specialists. So let's go over here and we can just toggle on that risk. Now, if you wanted to, you can just add it one at a time for each line item, but actually you can also just click the top line of that cost breakdown structure level, the hierarchy tree. If you click it here, and toggle that on with a tick, you can see with one click, it will add that to all of the cost elements beneath it within its all sort of child elements within there. Now, once it's done that, that means we can now go back to our project risk screen, and you'll see it has added the general site labor, the PMO, as well as the specialist. So now we can ask the question of correlation. So should there be a hot market in 20% of iterations, then you get an impact of somewhere between a 5% growth in cost, 10%, or maybe even 200%. But should that apply to all of them at the same time? Well, there's an argument for saying yes, maybe there is. So if you click or look up here, I should say, there's a toggle that says impacts independently. If I now select that, I can then define the correlation. So at the moment, impacts independently means that they will, some will suffer the impact and some will not. Some will be impacted and some will not. But if I have it untoggled, this means that they all suffer together to the same magnitude, the same severity from that sampling, or they don't suffer at all because it doesn't happen. So that's what that toggle means. But it's when you click and then click on the correlate, this allows you to then add a value of up to 1.0, which will toggle its event existence and event severity of impact. So that's another way of looking at correlation. So if you want to govern that and make sure that there is maybe some, like say 0.5 and 0.5, there is now a reasonable degree of correlation, and you can increase it all the way up to 1.0 for full strength, full correlation, for one-to-one relationship.
Okay, so that was another way of doing correlation, but if you missed it, the main way of doing correlation between one risk and another risk, or any uncertain variable in the model, is covered back in video 24. So go back there to see the correlation matrix. But it is a meaty topic, and I think I will be doing more videos on the topic of correlation just in general, but outside of this video series. Next in this 30-part video series, we are going to be talking about parent-child inherited cost timing. So all I mean by that is that back on the cost module, we covered it in the basics section, where you can sort of suggest when each individual cost element is going to have, its linkage to time if you're not using the schedule connection method. Or actually, if you've got a whole bunch of these things, then you can just set them at the parent node of the cost breakdown structure, and everything underneath can inherit that. So we're going to be covering that in the next video.